Welcome back, everyone. I know it's been quite a while. The cataract adventure is finally over, and I've got what I call new eyeballs, and I'll spare you all the details. If you're interested in the procedure of removing cataracts, send me a message or an email, and I'll respond. But suffice it to say, I am once again a current qualified aviator after an almost 3-month absence. And this video is kind of long. It encompasses a couple of subjects, so I'm going to give you a brief preview of what we're going to cover today. I went to, after getting back in the airplane and getting reacquainted, if you will, a couple of local flights, some touch and goes. I flew to the Casa Grande, Arizona Cactus Fly-In. So the first part of the video is just flying to Casa Grande. And I checked with the local authorities down there, and they said, well, yeah, you can camp. I acquainted them with the term flamping, and they said, well, you can flamp, but you can't camp, flamp, right next to your airplane. We're going to put you close to your airplane. The airplanes have to stay on the ramp, and you have to camp on the dirt. So I said, okay, because I wanted to try my hand at flamping. So the first part of the video is just flying to Casa Grande. And then if you've ever been to a fly-in, you know you get there, and if you've got a nice airplane, you have to kind of stay close to your aircraft, not to guard it necessarily, but to guard it. And then people come and look, and then they ask questions, and then you don't really get a chance to look at the other aircraft that have flown in. So I didn't get a chance to do that much. I took one short video of the ramp, and of course, when you do that, you get a lot of wind noise. So I'm going to apologize right up front. It was breezy, so there's some wind. Then I kind of debriefed the arrival and a little bit of my early experience in flamping, which would be setting up the tent and the camp. And I gave you a little preview of that. And then the next part of the video is cooking. And I gave you a little look at what I cooked for dinner that night. And then at the end is a debrief, if you will, of flamping, an overall perception of my first foray into flamping. So the video runs probably in excess of 30 minutes. So feel free to come in, watch, go away, come back. But some of it's humorous, some of it's educational, and I hope you enjoy it. So first part, flying. Second part, flamping. Third part, a little bit of discussion and insight into my impressions of flamping. I hope you enjoy it.
658 Whiskey Mike, radar contact 2 miles north of Chandler Airport, climb and maintain 5,000.
5,008 Whiskey Mike. Approach, there's 527 Whiskey Yankee from the south transition, 4,500.
527 Whiskey Yankee, Phoenix Road, Roger.
We're approaching Casa Grande.
November 8 Whiskey Mike, correct to the Kilo Bend VOR.
Clear direct, Kilo Bend VOR, 8 Whiskey Mike.
Film the arrival. We're about ready to start down. And And hopefully the filming is going to work, and the microphone is going to work. I'm going to drop in on the...
137, traffic 12 o'clock and 3 miles northeastbound, out to indicate 6,300. Turn right heading 22, correction, disregard. Looks like they're headed northwestbound now.
Roger, 137.
We're going to drop in on the Cactus Fly-In. We're going to try our hand at Flamping.
137, looks like they're maneuvering in that area there at 1 o'clock and 3 miles, 6,300 out to indicate.
Looking at 137.
Finish approach air cam 106 Lima, VFR 4,500, west transition. Air cam 106 Lima, Phoenix approach, roger.
Cameras away, forward X-ray, squawk and VFR, switching frequencies.
Forward X-ray, radar service terminated, and talk to you on the next one.
Yes, sir, forward X-ray. Phoenix approach, Archer 411 Bravo Sierra, can I cancel that flight following?
Archer 411 Bravo Sierra, roger, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, frequency changes approved, have a good one.
Squawk VFR, 1 Bravo Sierra, have a great day, thank you. Captain San Jose 137.
137, roger. Turn left heading turn 15 degrees left vectors for that traffic. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing there. I don't want them to descend into you.
15 degrees left, thanks, there's 137.
Rear check 524, Codex to the Stanfield VOR.
Codex Stanfield VOR, crew check 524.
527 Whiskey Yankee, leaving Phoenix Bravo airspace, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, frequency changes approved.
Frequency approved, squawk at 1200, have a good day. 7 Whiskey Yankee.
Okay.
This airplane has VNAV capability. And
Phoenix approach, hello, FlexJet 437. We'll have a 9,000 with Mike.
FlexJet 437, Phoenix approach, roger, expect the visual approach to runway 21.
We'll expect visual approach 21, FlexJet 437.
FlexJet 437, descend and maintain 7,000.
Down to 7,000, FlexJet 437.
I think I programmed it in here. It should be starting down here anytime.
Number 658, Whiskey Mike, traffic alert, traffic, entered 11 o'clock, 2 miles westbound, in case 4,700, climb and maintain 6,000.
Got him on scope, looking visual, climb maintain 6,000, 8 Whiskey Mike.
Harrison 137, climb and maintain 7,000, re-cleared to direct to the Stanfield VOR.
Climb maintain 7,000, re-clear, direct Stanfield VOR, Harrison 137.
Not sure it does. We're going to start down. Phoenix 4 Bravo Lima is going to start a VFR descent.
Number 564 Bravo Lima, roger. Radar service is terminated. Squawk VFR, frequency changes approved.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Ray, Whiskey Mike, traffic will be no factor. The passenger underneath you. Flexjet 437, descend and maintain 6,000.
Descend and maintain 6,000, FlexJet 437.
And Phoenix approach for 8 Whiskey Mike, I got the traffic just underneath me to the left, no factor.
Ray, Whiskey Mike, thank you.
One 22.7 is the Unicom.
To coordinate with you, what's your intentions? We're doing aerial firefighting practice over by Robles.
Stanfield traffic, Warrior 8204, taking 5,500 open Stanfield. Stanfield traffic, Arctic 6492, taking 5,500 with top 6,000 open Stanfield.
Capcom traffic, Sierra 309 Charlie Pop's going to cross over the east end of the field and enter left downwind for runway 5, Capcom.
Copy, I'm getting only part of that. A lot of traffic, this frequency for the lead.
Customer traffic, stationary 82 Tango Papa, short final 5 over.
Superior, is your operation over the Superior Airport, or are you proceeding west?
Capcom traffic, Stanley 9048 X-ray is left base, right behind 615 Romeo Victor, inbound full stop runway 5, Capcom.
Customer traffic at 61 Delta, low level left downwind 5. Okay, again, I'm only getting parts of it. Understand, over Superior up to 5,000 AGL is what you guys are going to be doing.
Casper traffic, RV 615 Romeo Victor is base at final number 2 for 5, Casper.
Stanfield traffic, Sierra 7 Whiskey Yankee, understand 6 is open, we'll take 6,000 in approximately 7 minutes.
Casper traffic, crew check 1030 is on a 4-mile final runway 5 for the option, Casper. Pressure altitude. Stanfield traffic, crew check 631, yes, we're beware inbound, approach altitudes are open, Stanfield. Airson 2038 taking approach altitude 4,500 open, proceed to turn inbound, Stanfield.
That's the Grande traffic, Bristol 564 Bravo Lima, 9 West, airport advisory, please.
Customer traffic, code 61 Delta, midfield left downwind 5. Stanfield traffic, Warrior 82044, taking 4,500, 5,000 open, Stanfield. Romeo Victor, full stop 5, Casa Grande.
And Superior traffic from Forest Service King Air, if you're able, can you meet us up on 121925, 121925 for Superior glider traffic to coordinate? Too much jamming going on, 22-7.
Okay, so Casa Grande is using left traffic, runway 5.
61 Delta is going to turn left base to final behind X-ray.
We're going to enter left downwind.
Sierra 309 Charlie Pop is left downwind.
215, we're going to be departing to the east, Casa.
Oscar traffic, Airson 2038, 2-mile final for the option, runway 5, Casa. Casa Grande traffic, 8 Juliet is downwind approaching base, runway 5, Casa Grande. Casa Grande traffic, Warrior 82044, 4-mile final on the RNAV 5 in the Casa Grande. Casa Grande traffic, Airson 2038 is mile-and-a-half final, runway 5 for the option, Casa. Casa Grande traffic, 84 Juliet, approaching base, we're going to break out, we'll go back out to the left, try again. Buffett 6493, your inbound approach altitude open, Stanfield.
4 Bravo. Whiskey Yankee descend to approach altitude 45 open, we're top, Stanfield.
4 Bravo Lima's over the high school on 45 to the left downwind 5.
Casa Grande traffic, Airson 2038 is flying the published mist and returning back to Stanfield, Casa. Casa traffic 0 miles is 2 miles out of flying midfield, left traffic 5, full stop Casa.
Bravo Lima's on the wrong side. Going to overfly the field again to get on the left downwind for 5. Going to enter the crosswind to 5. Anybody departing 5?
Casa Grande traffic, Airson 2038 is flying the published mist back to Stanfield, Casa. Casa Grande traffic, Warrior 82044, 2-mile final, runway 5 for the option, Casa Grande.
Okay, 4 Bravo Lima's now on a crosswind 5. And 4 Bravo Lima turning downwind, left downwind 5. Casa Grande, full stop. Left and right, up and down. So many things to remember.
Cross traffic, Zero Alpha midfield, number 2 on the left, down on 5, full stop crossing.
Casa Grande traffic, we're 82044, short final, runway 5, going to be going missed, then departure to the north, Casa Grande.
Traffic 7 Whiskey Yankee, proceed your turn outbound, approach altitude, Stanfield.
84 Juliet, are you on frequency?
Yeah, 84 Juliet, we're out here trying to stay out of the way of the guys on final and 2 guys on downwind. We're going to do a 360 and then come in maybe straight in from the west. 84 Juliet.
Roger, just be careful, that's the ILS approach and you're getting pretty close.
Bravo in return, base 5, Casa Grande, full stop, be a short approach.
Casa Grande traffic, Grumman 28 Lima. East of the airport, be crossing overhead to enter a left downwind for runway 5, Casa Grande.
Casa Grande traffic, we're 82044, upwind runway 5, going to make a left crosswind departure to the northeast, Casa Grande.
Faithful traffic, Garrison 2038, 5 minutes to the east, requesting top spec.
Approach altitude, 456.
Garrison 2038 taking 45 in approximately 4 minutes, with top Stanfield.
Pitch limit. Pitch limit.
Cross traffic, Zero Alpha left downwind, we're going to be number 3 on the final behind, Oxford 6493.
Stanfield, traffic, Casa Grande traffic, Oxford 6493, going around, find the publishments back to Stanfield.
Cross traffic, Zero Alpha left base, number 2 for 5 full stop crossing.
Stanfield traffic, requesting top of stack, please.
Top spec 455, open Stanfield.
Stanfield traffic, Oxford 6493, taking 5,000, we are top 55 open, we are on the published mist, Stanfield.
Cross traffic, Zero Alpha, reach the final 5 full stop crossing.
Bravo in clear 5, Casa Grande.
Casa Grande traffic, Grumman 28 Lima. Crossing over the field to enter a left downwind for runway 5, Casa Grande.
Zero Alpha, final 5 full stop crossing.
Casa Grande traffic, Grumman 28 Lima. Downwind for runway 5, Casa Grande.
Well, here I am at the Casa Grande Cactus Fly-In. I've set up base camp with only one person. It's hard to videotape while you're trying to set up a tent in the wind. So, sorry I can't share that, but I'll share the campsite with you in a little bit. I can't really report on Casa Grande Airport as far as a destination because today there's a lot of stuff going on. So you might think this is a place to come. Well, today it is a destination for pilots and their spouses and families and whatever. But who knows if that's the case on a Wednesday when you're looking for a place to go. So I will return and give you another report. More to come. I'm off to lunch. Well, here I am at my campsite at the Casa Grande Cactus Fly-In. Cracking bottle of Jameson's with a little bit of melted ice water. I forgot ice today. I've got to get a soft cooler for future adventures. The airplane is parked over there. Planes are departing. It's quiet on the flight line, reasonably. Cheers. I have a table set up. My chair is set up. I couldn't videotape the setting up of the tent because it was windy. Now, if you watch a YouTube video like mine of unsuccessfully setting up a tent, or successfully setting up a tent, I think it was done in a studio in front of a green screen or a very calm day. Because when you set up a backpacking tent that is very light on a windy day by yourself, and then you try and videotape it, it doesn't work. First of all, the wind blows the nylon material or whatever your backpacking tent is comprised of all over. And you can't weigh it down with your gear because the tent's not up. You have to get the tent up and then put your gear inside of the tent to weigh it down. If you get the tent up and you don't have your gear close by, when you go to get your gear, the wind blows the erected tent away. And while your camera is set, the wind blows your camera away or over, thus ruining the video shot. So what it results in is a lot of expletives, frustration, retakes, and wasted effort. So take my word for it. I got the tent up by weighing down the corners, erecting the extension tubes, sticking the tubes in the holes, and then getting the tent up. It was a lot easier than the last foray video that we did that you may remember. I could go through that again in another video from my backyard on a calm day. But suffice to say, the tent is up, the equipment is basically inside, the chair is here, and here we sit. Hopefully the winds will die down a bit. The crowd was pretty good. You'll see the video of our arrival. I haven't reviewed that yet. It was a bit of a cluster, you know what. I misconstrued left traffic, right traffic. I overflew the field, came back around, then I realized I didn't need to fly the field. Went back across the field, got on the left downwind for runway 5. I don't know why they were flying using runway 5. It was a bit of a tailwind, and there was a lot of traffic, so I elected to fly a short approach, which put me high because of the tailwind. But the beauty of the airplane is it's forgiving. You'll hear it in the video, I think. There's a lot of warning systems. Flap over speed, I think I heard. It's forgiving. Sync rate. Too low, pull up. A lot of crap in the background. I landed long. It's a long runway, and the airplane landed 400 or 500 feet. So don't be too critical about that and say he's way out of the landing parameters. He should have gone around. I didn't. We landed in plenty of space to slow the aircraft. I cleared at the end, and no harm, no foul. They had a lot of extraneous traffic here. People come here for training, which is fine, but it was a fly-in. And why CFIs would bring their students here to train during a fly-in is beyond me. You may hear on the radio ILS, going around, practice ILS, on and on and on, while people are just coming in for a fly-in. If you're any kind of a CFI, go away. I don't care if you're saying, well, I want to show you what it's like, a high traffic, non-controlled airport. No, not for a fly-in, because in a fly-in, you've got guys that don't fly very often. And they're in here, and all they're trying to do is get on the ground too. Take your students somewhere else. So, anyway, enough of that. Here I am. Talked to a lot of guys. Matter of fact, the first guy up to talk about the airplane, turns out I went to Arizona to stay with him. I kind of recognized the name, and we got talking. Where'd you go to school? So did I. What year? Oh, that was a year ahead of me. And we knew the same people, but we didn't know each other that well. So go figure. Fly-ins are fun. I'm going to come back. I mentioned it on a video clip that'll be in the mishmash of this presentation to tell you whether you want to come to Casa Grande on a Wednesday. Apparently it's a lot of traffic because a lot of training comes here because it's got an ILS and no tower. But we'll talk about that in another video. Flamping, there's a party, if you will, that goes on in about an hour that I found myself invited to, so we're going to go have a couple of beers. I'm going to finish my whiskey and do a little reading right now, and we'll come back after the party, and I'm going to cook up some homemade beef stew in my jet boil camp stove, and then we'll have some red wine, Pinot Noir, I believe, and then that'll be it for today. But so far, so good. No scars, no blood, and I'll talk to you in a bit. Cheers. Okay, so it's kind of hard to do this with a freestanding videos. So what I'm doing is I've showed you what I've done. I've taken my beef jerky and separated it a bit, and I've chopped a potato with a plastic fork. That doesn't work real well. I brought some peas and carrots from home in a baggie, and those have gone into the jet boil and then filled it up with water. Now, I'm going to boil that for close to 5 minutes, and then I'm going to add some dried mushrooms and some brown gravy to thicken it up, and that's going to be my beef stew. So we'll be back in a moment with boiling water. In the meantime, I'm going to pour myself a glass of Pinot Noir. That's how that works. Be right back. I think it's soup or stew. It's cooked for about 10 minutes. I've let it cool. Okay. Now we're going to talk about my impressions, my first time flamping. And the best way to start is an old story about a young boy comes home from school, junior high, and he comes home and he finds his dad, and he says, "Dad, I've got an assignment and I need some help. And his dad says, sure, what is it? And the son says, I need to write an essay on the difference between theory and reality. And his dad says, okay. He thinks a minute and he says, go find your mom and your sister. Ask each of them if they would sleep with a strange man for $1 million. So the kid says, okay. And he walks away and he comes back a little later in the day and he says, Dad, I found each of them. I asked them each that question and they each said yes. And his dad says, okay, good. Now, in theory, we're millionaires. But in reality, we're just living with a couple of prostitutes. So what I'm trying to say is there is sometimes, more often than not, a large gap between theory and reality. And flamping is no different. Now, when you go flamping, the first thing you have to do is amass the equipment. And we've already had a video on that. And we've talked about getting familiar with the equipment. And we've already had a video on that. So then the next step is to take the equipment to your aircraft and make sure all the equipment fits in the aircraft. Now in that case, my theory and reality were really close. And this picture that is now showing on the screen demonstrates that, because all my equipment went in the aircraft almost perfectly. My tent, my sleeping bag, my thermarest pad, my collapsible chair, my table, my overnight bag and my stuff sack all went into the cargo compartment and the right seat almost like a glove. And I was tickled to death. So off we went to Casa Grande. Now, I have already talked a little bit about setting up the tent as I was relaxing campsite, and it's true. I mean, lightweight equipment and a little bit of a breeze, it's a challenge when you're by yourself because you put stuff out there, and when I did it, even in my backyard, it was reasonably calm, and everything kind of stayed where you put it. Well, when you get outdoors in the wide open and on an airport ramp, we all know there's usually a little bit of wind, and stuff will take off on you, no pun intended. So what I didn't really need, and I didn't really have near me, was a few rocks to anchor the corners of the tent. That could have come in handy. And when you need stuff to put in the tent, when you finally get it up to keep the tent from blowing away, arm's reach, you got to plan ahead and have that stuff closer than I did to get it in to the tent. Then the next thing where my theory and reality didn't really work, I bought this wonderful 17 tool in one gadget. It's got an axe, it's got a hammer, it's got all sorts of blades in here. It's like a Swiss Army knife, if you will. And what I really got it for was the hammer, because I thought, well, if I'm going to use tent stakes, I need a hammer. Okay, and I got a small one because then you can maybe attach it to your belt. It comes with this case with a strap, and I didn't attach it to my belt, but I still had it that easy to find and pack and what have you. Well, so there I am trying to put in a tent stake. Well, here's a tent stake, okay? And here is this little hammer with this very little head. to hit this little tiny tent stake. Now, I'm not a master carpenter, so to put this in the ground and then to try and strike this tiny tent stake with this tiny little hammerhead. You see where I'm aiming? No pun intended. It was a challenge just to hit this tent stake with this tiny hammer and just hit it squarely. And there's not a lot of pounds per square inch. I mean, I can barely do it here and hit it squarely enough to get it to go in the ground. So the next time before I flamp, I'm going to get a little mallet with a bigger head so I can put the tent stake in. This might come in handy for something else. I'm not going to be chopping wood or doing descaling fish, or maybe a pocket knife or something might come in handy. I'll take it with me, but thankfully it wasn't $98 or anything like that. So another theory and reality gap of significant proportion. If you've never been in a tent, housekeeping is important. Where you put things, and then when you put them in there, you think about it. Oh yeah, I'll put it there. And then you forget where you put it, and then you go to find it, and you can't. It's just a learning process. I forgot ice. I didn't buy a soft-sided cooler, so I just used my overnight bag. So if I'd have brought ice, I had nothing to put it in. Short-sighted. When I went to lunch, I got some cold drinks, and somebody gave me a couple of cups of ice, and that got me through the afternoon, and then at night I didn't really need it. I had my 2 gallons of water. I was surprised that I used almost 1 gallon for the one overnight. So there was no water available to me there at the campsite. So if you don't have water available, you've got to plan ahead for that. Cooking, I made that homemade beef stew. Chef Corso has his own YouTube channel. He's an avid backpacker. And if you're a backpacker and you're out for 4 or 5 days, making your own food probably is attractive, because to eat ready-made meals where you just make hot water into a pouch probably gets old. For me, and on a one-night adventure, maybe a 2-night adventure for me, was, in hindsight, too complicated. The next morning before I left, I had a pouch of eggs and sausage and pepper, pre-made, dried. You boil 2 cups of water, you put it in the pouch, you seal the pouch, you wait 15 minutes, you have breakfast. And much easier. The stew was good. The breakfast was easier. The only downside with the pouch is it's really made for 2 people and way too much food. So I'm going to research that next time, see if I can find meals that are smaller, made for maybe 1 person. But much easier. I'm not going to go to the trouble of home cooking for the short durations that I'm out. Other than that, I was reasonably pleased with how it went. If you flamp alone, which in light sport you may do that just by virtue of filling up your airplane with gear. As I've said before, the Bristol was my purchase because the aircraft had room to carry things. A lot of light sport aircraft don't. But if you have a larger aircraft with a greater capability to carry things, take someone with you. Because flamping solo removes some of the attraction. Now, my wife has no interest in camping, so I don't have an option. Even if you have a dog, take your dog. At the Fly-In, there was only one other camper, if you will, and he drove up to meet his dad who flew in. So it was a couple of tents, maybe 50 yards away from me. So it wasn't a big jamboree of tents and what have you. But the more the merrier with camping and flamping, I would say. But as you go and do this, you'll find your own routine, your own rhythm. But I didn't freeze to death. I didn't have a pillow. Pillow would have been good. And the neighbor camper suggested a vacuum system where you can get a regular low-cost pillow and you put it into this vacuum package. You suck all the air out and it smashes it down into a manageable size, which would make it good for carrying in a small aircraft. So I'll look into that for next time. Could have used a pillow. But other than that, I have my tunes with my iPhone and a small Bluetooth speaker. I had a small camp light that I got from REI. And I had a power battery that I got from REI so I could recharge the phone. I had my iPad. I didn't really use much. And it went reasonably well. As I said at the end of one of the tapes, no blood, no broken bones. I survived. And I got a good night's sleep. So all in all, it went well. Am I going to be a career flamper and much like backpackers? No. But it is a fun way to utilize your airplane. And as I go to destination airports and report back to you, I will include that in my report as far as this is a good place to flamp. This is not a good place. They don't have facilities or water or what have you. But keep in mind, much like anything else in aviation or anything, you have theory and you've got reality, and sometimes they're far apart. So that draws this whole video to an end, thank God. I'm glad to be back in the air. I'm glad to be able to make some videos that you'll find entertaining and educational to some degree. And remember, share, subscribe, and go to the store and buy a t-shirt, for God's sake, or a coffee mug. You guys can do this. Take good care. See you soon.